4th and goal to go to the 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
Here is Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
Right. I mean, this is, I mean, the Giants were 1 for 5 in the red zone against the Commanders. I think they were 0 for 2, 0 for 2. So they're 1 for 7 in the red zone, 1 for 7. Good teams are like around 40%, 50% in the red zone. That's good, 40 to 50, right? You're winning some games that way, without question. I mean, if the Giants, when they were against the Commanders, they got down, I think it was the 1 yard line when they tried the pass to Bo in the end zone, right? It was incomplete, all that. They tried that. Obviously, it didn't work. But they got down to and they couldn't score a touchdown. Imagine if they did, if it would have been 14 to 10. Okay, maybe going into the fourth quarter, 14 to 10. A little different ball game than 14 to 6. Still one score, but it's a little bit closer, right? But, we were 0 for 2 in the red zone. And we got down to the 1 yard line and you couldn't punch it in. This week, okay, we were 1 out of 5, right? And the thing that gets you here is the Cowboys were 3 for 3 in the red zone. Every time they got in the red zone, they scored a touchdown, right? We were 1 for 5 in the freaking red zone. If we could have scored one other touchdown, we win this one. Why not win this football game? Because that would give us another 4 points, right? It would have been 41 to 34. Okay, with 19 seconds to go. Now, to be fair, if the Cowboys had their timeouts, okay. Let me get rid of this here. Right, Cowboys had their timeouts. So they could have, 19 seconds to go. They could have completed a pass. They could have had probably at least 3 plays. And if they're going to get a Hail Mary, at least 3 plays, if not 4, possibly with the timeout. So they could be fast, quick passes. You can't stand back there and look around and look for all 7 different options and jump. You got to hike the ball and get the ball out fast because the guy's got to catch it, make a tackle, call timeout. So you don't want to burn up obviously too much time on any one given play. But the Cowboys, with 19 seconds left, kind of at their 32, could have had at least 3, if not 4 plays they could have had, right? Because you figure if you could have ran 3 plays in 18, it would have been 6 seconds of play. That's, snap it, right? Let the guy run a couple steps. So after 3 seconds, you're throwing the ball. 4 seconds, he catches it. 5 and 6, he gets tackled or whatever. So you could run at least 3 and maybe have like 1 second on the clock. So to be fair, if the Giants in the red zone, right, 5 red zone, they scored 1 time. One of those other times they scored a touchdown. Okay. Well, I mean, actually they were in the red zone another time. Wandale Robinson got down to the 2 yard line and he got called back because of Hudson, because of a penalty. So we were actually down to the 2 yard line. We could have gotten down, if it wasn't a penalty, right? We got down to the 2 yard line, possibly we would punch it in. Instead, we had to settle for a field goal. So actually, we were in the red zone, another time, but it got called back because of a penalty. But if we punched a touchdown in one of those other times in the red zone, we're up 41 to 34. They have the ball at the 32 yard line with 19 seconds to go. Now, for the most part, what would have been best would probably be try to complete a pass or so in the middle. Right, or whatever it is, as they did with Ferguson around the 50 yard line, call timeout, right? Then they could have like a Hail Mary, 1 or 2 Hail Marys in the end zone, or try to complete another pass to somebody to get the ball down to the 30 or whatever, and then maybe the final play of the game, they're like 30 yards out, he can maybe fire one into the end zone or something like that, right? But the chances of that happening and them scoring a touchdown in 19 seconds, But the chances of them getting out to going from the 32 to the 50 to give their field goal kicker a chance to kick a field goal, that's quite possible, right? But I mean, we got to find ways in the red zone. I mean, it was, what happened yesterday. It's hard to blame the offense scoring 37 points, having over 500 yards of offense, 37 points. It's really hard to blame the offense, right? But once again, it's we're 1 for 5, we're 1 for 7, which is, let's say, what's one. I mean, it's whatever. It's not real good here. What we got here? 14%. 14% in the red zone. Good teams are like 3 times better than that. Good teams are like 40 to 50%, 40, at least 40%. I'm going to say. We're at 17. 17, or what did I say, 14%? Yeah. Absolutely atrocious. And it goes back to my other point. It's always something. It's always, and usually it's something different, like each week. I said, but when we against the Commanders, right? Last week, we got down to the 1 yard line. We couldn't punch it in. I'd have to go back and let's see. I mean, I forgot exactly all what happened. Let me see. I got to go back because I forgot exactly. I remember Bo. Let's see, play by play. Okay, he's got a field goal. Is this the field goal? Is this the now long drive? Okay, they got. Okay. Oh, okay. They got down to the 1 yard line. It was first and goal because there was a 1 yard penalty, illegal use of the hands on Washington. It forced it. The Giants were down to the 2 yard line. It was 4th and goal at the Washington 2. There was illegal use of the hands, gave them 1 yard and gave them a first down. Right. So the Giants had first and goal at the 1 yard line. Well, they started off with an incompletion. Then they had Scatterboo up the middle. He lost a yard. That's when he got hit in the backfield. Right. So we lost a yard. So now it's 3rd down and 2, and we throw an incomplete pass. So 3 plays and we lose a yard. 3 plays and we lost 1 yard. And we got to wind up with a field goal. Let's see, where are we at here? Field goal. Is this one here? Let's see. Is this the 40, 37? Oh, on downs. Is this the one on downs? This is the one on downs. Yeah, the one toward the end of the game. We got down to the 3 yard line. 3 yard line. First and goal at the Washington 3. Throw an incompletion. We throw 4 straight incompletions. Now to be fair, I also understand too, we weren't able to run the ball at all that game. So I can maybe understand why maybe the Giants kind of went away from trying to let's just run the ball in, get down to the 3 yard, but they threw 4 straight incomplete passes. So last week, okay, there was they got first and goal at the 1. If they scored a touchdown there, we have 7. Then the Giants kicked the field goal, so we would have had 10 points. Okay. When we got down to the 3 yard line late in the game, right? I think it was 21-10 at the time. Well, the Giants were able to run the ball and plow it in. Maybe now we had to go for 2, be 21-18. Right, so we got a chance, right? If they if they made the 2-point conversion, but the Commanders got the ball back and they ran it for 8. I mean, once again, same thing where's the defense, right? Commanders got the ball for 8 plays and went 64 yards and ran the clock out. And the last 2 or 3 plays, they knelt down on the ball, right? So actually, they had like 66 or 67 yards in like 5 plays, but then they knelt on the ball to run the clock out. So the defense didn't help us at all, right? But I mean, we got down to the 2 yard line, and down. Now, I'm not saying we got down to the 19 yard line against the Commanders, and then we got down to the 17, and we didn't plug it in, or we got down to the 2. I'm sorry, we got down to the 1. I'm sorry, my bad. We got down to the 2. There was a 1-yard penalty on the Commanders. Gave us a first down. So we're first and goal at the 1-yard line. And we can't push it in. It's been a long time. I mean, since for the Giants anyway, they've had an offensive line, right? They just mauls people and just pushes them back and just runs them into no push, can't get any push, nothing. Offense, it's just got to get better with the run for sure. But the red zone, absolutely horrible. I said we were 1 for 5 yesterday, and I said actually we got down to the 2, but there was a penalty, brought the ball back against the guy. We got the 2-yard line. So actually, we were, in there almost 6 times. One got called back because of the penalty. 4 times we had to, settle for field goals, and one time we actually scored a touchdown when Scatterbo ran it in from the 1-yard line, 1 yard out. But just a lot of problems, and that certainly is one of them. Not being able to, you get down there, you got to score. I mean, it's so difficult that as you see, up against the Cowboys, you just can't go field goal for field goal. Some of these teams, and you also figure. Where am I at here? There we go. You also figure, you're going up against some really, really good teams. Really good teams. Right? And they score some points, and you got to keep up with them. You just can't keep kicking field goals, as we saw against the Commanders, right? And we kicked some field goals against the Cowboys, but guess what? They outscored us. One of those 4 other times, instead of kicking a field goal, we were actually able to score a touchdown. The Giants are now 1-1. The season looks a little bit different, right? Instead of 0-2, quite possibly being 0-3. And could you imagine? I mean, because we're going up against the Chiefs. They're 0-2. Could you imagine if the Chiefs go 0-3? So, the Chiefs are going to come with that. The Chiefs may not be as good as they were, right? But they're going to be coming with the A game. That's for damn. They do not want to go 0-3. That is for darn sure.